Yo, 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 what's up? This is your boy, Nicky Pockets, aka Nick Cirillo. You're listening to the Man Cave Chronicles.
Welcome to another episode of the Man Cave Chronicles.
Welcome to the party, pal!
You're my boy, Blue!
Yo, Adrian!
A podcast with interviews of amazing guests from the world of pop culture,
Oh, yeah!
TV,
Nice!
movies,
Oh, I love the movies!
comedy, and more. From deep inside the Man Cave, your host, Elias.
Nick, welcome to the cave.
Oh man, it's good to be in the cave, brother.
How are
it's
you?
a real delight.
How are you, man? What's new with you?
I'm doing well, man. I got a nice beer in my hand, so I guess life is good.
There you go. How's the whole quarantine treating you?
Oh man, I personally can't complain as bad as it could be and as bad as it is for a lot of families out there. I'm just fortunate that I'm alive and nobody in my close family has been fatally affected by it. I do know a lot of people. I got a lot of family in New York, and I got family members that have actually caught the virus, and luckily they've been able to pull through it, man. So I'm fortunate, I guess, is the best way to put it.
That's right. Yeah, I mean, we gotta keep on grinding, like they say. We'll get through it.
Just keep on living. Keep on living, like old McConaughey likes to say. I think just keep living, brother.
That's
all
right.
right.
That's right. So yeah, man, you've been busy lately, and you recently started on Netflix's Outer Banks, so we'll talk about that. I want the listeners to get to know a little bit more about you. Where are you originally from?
I'm originally from Wilkes County, North Carolina.
Oh, wow. Do you still live there?
No, I do not. I moved out of there a few years ago.
Where do you reside these days at?
I'm in Atlanta these days.
So how was it growing up there?
Oh, it was cool. It's a relatively small county as far as population is concerned. But it's actually one of the largest counties in North Carolina as far as land is concerned. So you don't run into a lot of people. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And I don't know. It was a particular. I guess it was a small town experience of the United States, rural small town. But I grew up running through the woods a lot, running around, getting in trouble with my friends a lot, and I guess when you live in a town like that, you gotta develop some form of imagination, not to go blind with boredom.
That's right. That's right. Do you miss those days?
Yeah, absolutely, man. I miss being a kid.
I know, man. So, like, growing up, man, like, did you know you wanted to get into the acting world?
Yeah, I mean, I've pretty much always known it, I guess. Hell, I'd be lying to you if I told you I had any other choice, you know what I mean? I ain't too good at really anything in this life, and I guess if it wasn't acting, it'd be a con man or some shit like that. So I'm just fortunate right now I'm making money legally.
Yeah. So was it how did you know you wanted to get into it? Was it a specific movie or a TV show? Like, what made you push towards this?
Well, when I grew up, my dad always took me to the movie theaters every weekend. Like, that was our thing. So movies were always a big part of my life growing up. Going to the movie theater and being enamored by the visuals that we're seeing on the screen, you know, the acting, the directing, and just the experience of being pulled away by a story. So that was a big part of my life. And then I was always a class clown, I guess. So I don't know, you know, I guess performance was just kind of something that I was born with. I don't know. I don't know where to put the finger or the hammer on the nail, so to say.
Yeah. So how did you get started in acting?
I went through college for a semester, about 15 minutes, for pre-law, and for a little extra credit thing we were doing in a pre-law class. They needed the freshmen out of that class to help do a mock trial for the seniors that were about to graduate and go to law school and take their LSAT. So they were doing a mock trial, I think for murder, if I remember correctly. And they set up a courtroom and everything. And for extra credit, I appeared as a suspect or a victim or something like that. And we had to practice it out a few times. And they gave me this whole story. So really, without knowing what I was doing, I kind of started creating a character out of it. I don't know why. It was just a school thing. So I guess I tried too hard for it, but I ended up realizing I was just acting, and I enjoyed acting more than what I was doing in school. So I dropped out like that day, and then started taking acting classes.
Oh wow. Well, what was your family's reaction when you did that?
Well, I guess it was mixed emotions. I mean, it was really just like my mom that I needed to get the approval from, I suppose, and she didn't fight it, you know. She was as supportive as I suppose I could have ever hoped for, because she let it happen, and she didn't fight it, and you know, of course, she wasn't over the moon, because nobody really thinks when a kid tells them they're going to go be an actor that they're going to make a living.
Yeah.
But you know what I mean? She was as supportive as I could have hoped for, and she helped me with everything I needed her to help me with, and now I guess I'm not a success, but I'm not a complete failure. So, you know, who knows? Maybe she's proud of me at this point.
So, were you taking the acting classes? Like, what would you say was like your best experience from taking those classes?
Well, man, the first couple of acting classes I took, I just didn't really connect with them, and it could have been my fault. It could have been a couple things. I don't know, but I just didn't quite feel I was getting my money's worth at these classes I first started taking when I dropped out of college, and I got really discouraged and kind of took a break for a couple months, just thinking, I don't know, I guess acting's really not going to be the thing for me. And then fortunately, I found online a class in Winston-Salem, which was called Actors Group. It's still up, and in my opinion, it's probably one of the best classes you could take in the Southeast for acting. But luckily, I found that. I got connected with the instructor, Burgess Jenkins, and he started. That was really the first time that acting started clicking for me, because I did a lot of classes where they wouldn't even let you act. You go and you do all these silly warm-ups that some dude wrote about in a method book 50 years ago that supposedly you needed to learn how to do to be an actor. So I was walking around pretending I was an animal and shaking my wrists and dancing and doing all these mouth exercises for months, and I never actually got to freaking act. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So I realized these guys were kind of wasting my time. And then, like I said, I got to Actors Group, and immediately off the ball, he lets you act. He gives you some stuff to do. And at that point, man, that's when I really knew. Like, when they finally just let me do a scene, it was like my first time going in and doing a scene with another partner and having a script to work with. I knew without a doubt, like, man, I'll never get any sort of energy or fun that I'm getting out of this from anywhere else. It just kind of clicked for me that this is where I needed to be.
Wow. How long ago was that?
I believe that was in 2017, 2016.
Okay.
So it's been about 4 years.
Wow. So yeah,
I believe it was October of 2016.
wow, that's good. So 4 years into this, and now you star on recently starred on Netflix's Outer Banks. That's pretty good.
I suppose, yeah. I don't know. I'm certainly feeling very fortunate and privileged. I feel very lucky to be on any TV show, so
Yeah.
I can't complain.
So what's been your reaction with the whole Outer Banks? The way, you know, it's trending on Netflix. It started off really, like, it went from, like, you know, I can't even show you my hands. It was like number one at one point on Netflix.
Yeah. I mean, I was tickled to death, man. I guess, you know. I of course had a good hunch that the show was going to be very successful. Just seeing the talent that they had on board and seeing the vision that the creators had, and just reading the script, I realized, like, okay, there's certainly something here. But then I try not to focus too much on you know, numbers wise or metrics wise how something that I'm in is going to go and perform afterwards, because it's out of my control.
Yeah.
So you know, I kind of tried to forget about it as best I could, and then it comes out and it's huge, it's a hit, and for the first time in my life, anyone that I don't know is hitting me up on Instagram to tell me that they liked the show I was in. So that was very different and very cool, and I don't know, it's gratifying, I suppose. You go down this rabbit hole of acting, and there's nothing guaranteed, and really you don't know if you're good or you're not, and you feel kind of delusional the whole pursuit of it. So just to have a little bit of confirmation bias, I suppose, by some outside eyes that have seen the show and liked the show and have reached out to me, it's everything I guess that you could ever hope for and more.
Yeah. So when you read the script and you went in for your audition, like, did you audition for Barry right away, or was it for another role?
I auditioned actually for a bunch of the other roles. I never auditioned for Barry, and it was just off of those auditions that after I wasn't the right fit for those, they just ended up offering me Barry, I guess. The whole time I was auditioning for these other roles, they just saw an unhinged crackhead dealer. So I don't know. It was what it was, but I'll take what they give me.
That's right. So how would you describe Barry the drug dealer?
I don't know, man. I guess he's, he is as you get. He is what you see, you know.
Yeah.
I don't know. It's hard to describe any one person, I suppose.
Yeah. How do you like?
You'd be leaving something up.
That's right. Like you've seen the episodes and everything. Like, you're a drug dealer, but like, how do you prepare for a role, to play a role like that?
Well, I like to go a lot off of music and things like that. So I started listening to a lot of aggressive hip hop to get into the character. That would usually help me. And I'd watch aggressive action movies that had similar types of themes that my character had. And I'm a big fan. I think a lot of acting is just kind of thinking of your subconscious as a basket and filling it up with things that your character needs. And then just letting that basket just letting all those monsters out of that basket when you get on a set. So, I did a lot of things like that. I watched a lot of drug movies, and, I have some people that I've met throughout my lifetime that kind of remind me of Barry throughout my life experiences. So I pull from that and people I've met. You try and pull everything you can, and it's all, you're stealing from all kinds of places.
Yeah.
It's really just stealing. You're just stealing different things from different places all over, and you put it all in your basket, and whatever the hell comes out, I guess.
So you're like, your character, he's not like, he's a dirtbag, he's not nice, he's a drug dealer, like you said.
Easy now. I don't know. He owns his own pawn shop. He
That's
served
right.
time in
That's
the military.
right.
This is upstanding citizen.
That's right. But then you see, like, like in your first scene, what's his name comes in there to get cocaine from you, Ralphie, right? And he's like,
Rafe comes in and gets my coke.
Yeah, and he doesn't have money, but he says, and you're like, I don't know, but then you're nice about it. You're like, yeah, okay, I'll give it to you, but
well, he's got to front me that bike, because he comes in, he's asking for the front immediately.
That's
I'm
right.
telling him go on somewhere. Then he offers up that dirt bike. At which point, I realize I've got somebody in a stranglehold of desperation. And as any good drug dealer, you got to take advantage of things like that. You know what I mean? So Barry thinks he's doing a good business move, but it certainly unfolds for him as the season unwinds.
Yeah. So what do you think was the biggest challenge portraying the character Barry?
The biggest challenge, I don't know. I'm trying to think. I don't know. I guess the nervousness, the nerves, and that's really with any role. It's just the nerves of feeling like you belong on the set and feeling like you're not really good enough. And that's something I battle with really anything in acting, because, like I said, it is so unsecure and so random, it seems at times. So it's really just getting in the mindset where I feel like I'm worthy of being there, and then allowing myself to free up and play the character that they've hired me to play.
So how is it working with the cast?
Oh, it's a dream come true. It not to sound corny or whatever, but yeah, I'm sorry, my dogs are playing right now. I don't know, I'm sure you can hear that. Dogs, can you stop? Can you give Daddy a break? Sorry, that's been ruining the audio, I'm sure. But working with the cast has been, it's excellent, man. I mean, everybody, the cast is exceptional to work with. They're all such great people. They're all the nicest people you could ever imagine to meet on a cast for a TV show. and they deserve all of the attention they're getting right now. And then on top of that, we're working with the best set and the best team of people I've ever worked with, you know, as far as ADs go, and costume and makeup and sound guys. They're all so great. Everybody top to bottom were so exceptional that it just felt like such a privilege to work with them. I don't know. I mean, you need faith, you need confidence, and when you see everybody is so good at their job on the set, and there's not a single dot of an I that's missed. It kind of lets you relax in a way and feel like everything's taken care of for you, and all you got to do is just show up and do your part.
Hey, where was this filmed, by the way? I know it wasn't really filmed at Outer Banks.
No, it's filmed in Charleston, South Carolina.
All right. Because it's from the scenes, man, it's beautiful.
Yeah, they got some great cinematography in there. Like I said, everyone behind the camera is just as good as everyone in front of it.
That's right. So, for your character, what was your favorite scene that you were in?
I gotta say probably that last scene with the fight in episode 10, spoiler alert, over the Phantom with JJ and Pope and Rafe and Kiara. You know, we shot during like the peak of the heat of that day, and of course the scene only comes out to do like maybe 2-3 minutes, but you're shooting all day long. So that was like a 12 to 5 type of thing, like 5 hours, no less. And then add on top of that all the stunt time that we put into it. But it felt, I mean, growing up, I played football and I wrestled. So it kind of took me back to feeling like I was playing a sport almost while filming that scene. Because, we were all fucking each other up, sweating, bleeding, all types of things like that. So it just felt like a roughhouse time. And I enjoy things like that. So that was probably the funnest thing I did on the show.
So, like, you mentioned earlier that, you went to college and you dropped out. Like, barely 15 minutes
barely.
and everything, and you jumped right into the, you went for it and everything. Like, what do you tell some people that come up to you, after a while you talk to you, like, hey, I want to get into the acting world. What do you tell them?
Tell them don't do it. It's not worth it.
Why is that?
I almost feel like an obligation to tell people that so they get because it's really just something that if you really want to do it, if you're not just somebody that wants to be famous for 5 minutes or something like that, if you actually have a passion for the art or the craft of it, or for cinema, then you need to start developing that thick skin immediately, and you basically need to be able to continue on with everyone around you telling you no. So although I don't mean it, don't do it, I'm going to tell you don't do it because I'm going to be the first of many that's going to tell you don't do it. So if you can't make it past me telling you, then you're not going to make it in the first place. Not to sound like a drill sergeant asshole, it's just the truth. I mean, this is my one little shot at a TV show I've had, but I've been doing it for 4 years, So there's been thousands of auditions where I've been told no. And that's just what you got to work past. And that's probably really one of the hardest things on top of actually learning how to do it. So I didn't do any theater college or anything like that. So if somebody came up to me, I'd definitely tell them, take some acting classes. If you're in the Southeast, check out Actors Group in Winston-Salem. Study great movies, study great actors. Go watch Meryl Streep movies, go watch Brando movies. And figure out if it's something you're passionate about. There's all types of things online that you can find. There's things like the Hollywood Reporter that does the Actors on Actors Roundtable, where you can literally hear for every year the Oscar-nominated actors kind of talk about their process. So if you listen to things like that and these interviews from the past of other great actors or directors, what they're looking for in an actor when they're trying to hire someone, there's all this information that actors didn't have prior to the internet. So you really do have a jump ahead. So if it's something you're into, go look it up. Get into it. Find some places nearby. Stay passionate, stay obsessed, and stay focused.
You mentioned auditioning, man. How do you handle that? Because, sometimes you go in there, you audition, and you don't hear something. If you don't get it, you don't even hear that you don't get it back. They just shut you down.
Yeah, pretty much. And that's just the business. I mean, when you go in, it's like and these are things you got to be real with yourself. You gotta be honest with yourself. You're not going into an audition and everyone's going to be your friend. You're going into an audition for them to examine you and see if you're right for a particular role. And I know everyone says it's a business, whatever. I try to avoid that mindset because I think at the very least, it dehumanizes myself, and I'm not interested in being somebody that approaches anything in life as it's a business type of deal and cutthroat, whatever, fuck you, it's a business. I just don't think that humans benefit from acting like that. But also don't be naive, because that is about how 90% of the people or more that you're going to come across is going to treat you. And you just got to be ready for it.
Have you ever gone in there and like you think you did well, or you just leave after that and you're like, man, I should have did it this way. I should have done it that way.
Oh, I mean, I've never left an audition without like slapping my steering wheel on the ride home and like hitting myself in the forehead without being like, you should have done this, you idiot, you should have done that. I mean, that's probably how a lot of people feel when they leave a regular job interview. You know, we're all creatures that we think of the best lines to say on the ride home. You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. And not in the moment. And we all wish we were the in the moment people. But that's not really possible, I guess. You know, we're not all that guy.
So what's next for you, man, for 2020?
I don't know. I guess I'm going to just keep on drinking beer in my apartment until the government lets me out of this corona quarantine. And that's really all I got up on my sleeve.
There you go, man. There you go. So how can the listeners find you on social media?
Well, if they wanted to keep up with me for some reason, I guess they could find me on Instagram, and that would be my name is Nick, and then one of those little underscore lines, and then V, and then another one of those little underscore lines, followed by my last name Cirillo, which is Cirillo, and that's how you'd be able to keep up with me.
There you go, man. There you go. Nick, this was fun. Thank you for coming on.
Hey, man, I really appreciate you letting me come on here and scrabble on a little bit. Some nonsense out of my mouth.
That's a wrap. That's a wrap, everybody. That's a wrap.
Thanks for listening to the Man Cave Chronicles podcast.
I finally get my man cave.
You can find us on Twitter, Facebook, and Instagram at the MCC Podcast and our website, themccpodcast.com. Until next time.